Yes, yes. So with pranams at the lotus feet of Guru, let me first thank the organizers of this online discussion, especially Dr. Srimati Teja Singh, Miss Yamuna Hari Singh, Sri Dilip Kumar, who introduced me, for inviting me to speak among the learned scholars, like all of you join now. I have seen Dr. B.K. Shashi as one of my favorite speakers in some of the early sessions of this program. I don't know whether he has joined us tonight, and I must thank Dr. B.K. Sabu also for sharing the program today after giving a detailed introduction of Sivagiri pilgrimage and also the philosophical aspects of the program. As Dr. Jija Madam told at the outset, in fact I was asked to join this program last year, but it was postponed to this evening. The reason behind this was my reading and knowledge in Srinarana literature is comparatively very shallow when compared to the regular members of this forum. So it was like bargaining to sell a pin to a blacksmith, as the Malayalam proverb goes, Kollakodiyil Suvijivikya. Secondly, I rarely make speeches, and wherever I go, I manage to make it a question and answer session, so that the answers from me will not be tainted by my ego and memory. When I prepare something, my intellect will work and ego will naturally interfere. So it was only when Dr. P.K. Sabu intervened and changed the format of the session into an interactive one or a dialogue, I could feel at home with it. Above all, I sincerely believe that whatever decided by Guru takes place at the proper time, and with that conviction, I gather courage to speak in this forum. So, just now, Dr. P.K. Sabu told about Dr. K.N. Raj's reference as economic social scientist, referring Guru as such. It was really interesting that there are different aspects of social reformation than what we have studied in schools and colleges as part of our curriculum. Regarding seeing Srinarana Guru as a social reformer, I have some views which I would like to explain. As Dr. Sabu told, it may be a deviation from the classical view. Anyway, let us try. In traditional devotional literature, there is a trinity: Bhagavata, Bhakta and Bhagavan. The book, the devotee and the God. It is converted in Vedanta to Guru, Shishya and Shastra. So, it is contemplated that one attains salvation or realization when he envelops all the three and merges them as one into himself. That is Sayujya of Guru and Shishya and Shastra. So, the preliminary step towards this is union, seeker using the literature to reach the sought. I had recently said in a discussion that this trinity can be rearranged as myself, the world around me and my reality. Myself, world around me and my reality, or ourselves, the world around us and our ultimate reality. That's a new trinity. Here, one has to use this world around him to reach the truth of his reality. unlike Vedanta, which does not consider the world around. This concept tries to accommodate the world also to a greater degree, using the world around him to reach the truth. So this is possible only when the society is connected. Being left to oneself does not serve this purpose at all. One may read a lot, study spiritual books, listen to orators, engage in debates, etc. But unless he practices what he has learned, he is not progressing. That is called nididhyasana. Practicing what he has learned. Shravana, Manna and nididhyasana are important according to Indian concepts. So for monitoring the practice of nididhyasana, one should relate himself to the world around. So this is how Srinarayana Guru's teachings become applicable equally to so-called spiritual and material lives. I personally do not believe in this division of life into material and spiritual, but those who feel so need this division. That's why I am saying that. I believe that Guru's teaching are more on one's attitude towards the other, togetherness, and being societal before qualifying himself for higher spiritual pursuits. I don't know whether Guru had used the same trinity in his literature, but he maintained the spirit in his teachings altogether. Just like Dr. Sabu told, he taught the Keralite to become societal first, before imbibing lofty ideals. This is a real social reformation he planned to bring about in the minds of people. Regarding Janaka as a newcomer in our comparisons, I don't compare because comparison is a crime, but still we are bringing comparisons. All the rulers in Videha kingdom were called Janakas. We are familiar to one of them who is the foster father of Sita Devi in Ramayana, as just now Dr. Sabu told. His full name is Sirathwaja. Sirathwaja was also praised to be a wise king. But anyway, the Janaka in the Upanishads was well known for practical wisdom. I don't know whether there is a proper connection between the Janaka in the Upanishads and Janaka in the Ramayana. He had attained enlightenment and still was practically a very good ruler. Now I remember the words of Confucius. Confucius says, "Never give a sword to a man who cannot dance. Never give a sword to a man who cannot dance." Only one can, if he can dance, he is able to judge people, rule people, and look after them. That is what he said. But there is a philosophical connotation for what he has said. My understanding is that the manifestation of cosmos, which is known as Sat or existence, has two parts in it: awareness and experience. For your kind information, here I have deviated from the classical belief. Classical texts are saying about Satchidananda, Sat, Chit and Ananda, and without giving details of Chit, Ananda or Sat. But here I am putting the existence as a as an aggregate form in which awareness and experience take part. In Tao also they are called yin and yang, but they are treated in a different approach, not like what we have in India, in the Indian texts. Here dance is feminine. Confucius saying, dance is feminine, representing the experience part of the cosmic manifestation, which is otherwise referred to as Ananda. So Ananda is feminine. All experiences are related to feminine attitude of man or woman. And the sword here is masculine, which represents the awareness, otherwise called the Chit. This Chit and Ananda are essential constituents of Sat, the existence. The balance between both is called the Yoga, the union. This is clearly pointed out in many of the poetic expressions of Srinarayana Guru on Shiva Shakti Sankalpa. I have come across such lines, which I don't remember now. Dr. Sabu may be knowing them, which he can render afterwards. So according to Confucius, power can be given only to one who can dance, or it further means the ruler should have aesthetics in his heart. Janaka was such a great king. He ruled his kingdom efficiently and enjoyed all the luxuries and pleasures of life. Still he was unattached to everything, as if he possessed nothing. He engaged himself with spiritual discourses and was interested in both teaching the wisdom of life to those who wanted to learn from him, and also learning from those he thought were worth learning from. When we say this, we should not think that he was a lazy ruler, always engaged in debates and discussion. As you may be knowing, the last king of Ayodhya was Agnivarna, who was a lazy king. He was also, his rule was also sabotaged by a social revolution, it seems. I think it's the first revolution. And our Janaka was a very good administrator, like King Solomon. That is why hand of Janaka becomes overgive. My Guru used to say that one should have hands of Janaka, head of Shankara and heart of Buddha. Here head of Shankara represents awareness of life, which you know. And it is not merely the body-bound intellect. This was there in Janaka too. Janaka too had the head of Shankara, because he was wise. That's why Janaka became famous, because he had proper awareness like that of Shankara. I can elaborate this like by quoting one thing. Shankaracharya has said, "Na bandhur, na mitram, na gurur, naiva shishya." I am neither friend nor relative, neither teacher nor the student. This was evident in Janaka's life also. He used to give lectures to seekers. At the same time, he was not reluctant to receive lessons from greater people like Yajnavalkya and Ashtavakra. So this is where Buddha joins Janaka. Next comparison is Buddha's heart. As you know, it denotes compassion, as just now he has said. Compassion and sympathy are to be distinguished here. We all have sympathy. When we see something, we sympathize with it. Sympathy is just an emotion. It's a motion of ego, motion of ego. So it has a reason. That sympathy has a reason. But compassion has no reason. It is without a reason. Even when a crime is known, we can feel pity with a criminal. It is called compassion. You might have heard Jinwaljean's story. The bishop, when the thief was arrested and brought before him for stealing the silver spoons, bishop asked this thief. He was none other than Jinwaljean himself. So bishop asked Jinwaljean, brother, I had kept the candlesticks also, silver candlesticks. You could have taken them also. Why didn't you take? Like that. So this is compassion. Knowing the crime and yet you are loving him. This is known as ahetuka kripa. Benevolence sans reason. This is what Srinath Guru had to his disciples, we can see. Many of them were having skeletons in their cupboard. But Guru's focus was on their inner nature, which is pure. Inner nature means the nature of the Atma, which is pure, untainted nature. So Buddha's heart is a must to strike a balance with the Shankara's head or logic. Both these are essential for a man with Janaga's hand. This is a combination. In one of the online discussions, a participant asked me how Janaga's hand can have something common with Buddha's heart and Shankara's head. I could understand the reason for this question. The Indian psyche has not yet understood the importance of Janaga's hands. Just now, Dr. Sabu told us that this is Krishnan Kartha's coinage. It's not my coinage. It is Janaga's coinage, in fact. He wanted to live an exemplary life and he lived. And because of that, we are using his name. And it is being mentioned in many places in Indian literature also, it seems. Or it should have. Janaga's hands represent the practical life, the day-to-day mundane life. In our culture, the present life was always forgotten and people were made to dream about the next life. They were tutored to forget the present and think of the future. This form of thinking was propagated by Mimamsakas, those who follow Purva Mimamsa school of thought of Jainini. They were very powerful then. It was their efforts that in fact popularized the karmic aspects like Yajna and Yaga for securing a space in heaven. This was duly followed by kings and thus by the noble and the educated. Priesthood was the child of this school, a school of thought, and that changed the pattern of society. Priesthood was brought about by this school and there was change. The emergence of a superior priestly class duly brought about social inequalities very soon. I need not add that we are still in the hang of it. This was the backdrop where the hands of Janaga was forgotten or camouflaged. I think it was purposefully camouflaged by the priestly class and the pandits. Because if the people learn to live practically in the present, coffers of the priests will not be filled. So Janaga's practical wisdom was somehow camouflaged, covered up. Shankara's head and Buddha's heart gained popularity by force. Later on, after the decline of this Mimamsakas, Buddha was sponsored by, as you know, by royal patronage. And later on, Shankara's Vedanta could also gain popularity like that. I need not go into the details of the feud between them, feud between the followers of Shankara and Buddha, which is not ideal for this evening. So, this was the reason behind my friend's question, how Janaka's hand can have something common with Buddha's heart and Shankara's head. I believe that Sridhar Guru imparted these three aspects for a wholesome life of a Keralite or a human being, whatever I can say, when he permitted and blessed the Sivagiri Tirthadam. Guru blessed the aspirants with spiritual lessons, while he educated the common man with lessons for daily life on righteous paths. This is a social reformation. This is a real social reformation which he has brought about. I have read somewhere that the pilgrimage was idea of a few, and just now Dr. Sabu told about fit and writer and all. Sridhar Guru utilized the enthusiasm of these pioneers in such a way that Sivagiri Tirthadhanam should not remain as just a pilgrimage. As Dr. Sabu suggested, the pioneers might have been toying with the idea of popularizing the abode of Sivagiri, but Guru did not intend to popularize the abode at all. He wanted to impart his teaching on different aspects of living to people gathering there from different walks of life. This benevolent intention of Gurudevan has social and spiritual outcomes. So far we have been discussing about social outcomes in all our forum. Let us see the social aspect first, which many of you can naturally guess. You may see the people from different sectors are supposed to assemble in Sivagiri Tirthadhanam. Farmers, artisans, small entrepreneurs, poets and literati, intellectuals, etc. etc. A farmer should get knowledge about the other sectors like small and cottage industries, handicrafts, etc. A poet should know how an artisan earns his daily bread. Likewise, each one will get acquainted with the other occupations and livelihood. This is very much important for building a socially stabilized society. Personally, it gives an impetus to one enterprising attitude, and socially it brings about mutual understanding and cooperation between different sectors of production function. One sector will not grow at the cost of the other. I think this might have been the reason why Dr. K. N. Raj called Sridhar Guru an economist. So when seeing from the perspective of an economist, I can see that all the production functions are maintained intact without affecting the other. It's a very difficult job for an administrator, as you know, because once we focus on something, the other will be getting impaired, like that. And above all, the philosophy of Guru, philosophy of life, which Guru wanted us to learn, along with the philosophy of living, which we are already making ourselves, We are making our own philosophy of living every day. But Guru wanted to teach us the philosophy of life also, along with that. So he arranged that they are to be taught with us through the sessions in the assembly of Sivagiri pilgrimage. One may ask, why such an assembly is needed to bring sense to the philosophy of life when he has already written a lot of books on them which can be easily popularized for the purpose. It is here that I want to bring spiritual aspect of the program. This is connected with one of my discoveries made during the spiritual journey since 1988. Again, it is a deviation. The consciousness, bodha, has a positive charge. The positive charge for consciousness. The positive charge needs a negative polarity to descend. Such a negative polarity is available only at a field with differentiation. Now, we should understand why differentiation is imperative. Differentiation is the core of the manifest universe. The consciousness is absolute and one without a second. Eka, eva, advitiya. The one absolute, indivisible truth has split into diversity, which we call the universe. The Advaita Vedanta called this a maya or illusion. Why it is an illusion? Because absolute one is indivisible, yet we see the universe as multitude of varieties, different things. So this variance or the differentiation is the true picture of existence or the Sat or the universe, Aneka. The consciousness or Buddha is Eka and the universe or the Prapancha is Aneka, manifestation is Aneka. Now we can see that the other pole to receive the positive charge of consciousness is differentiation. This is the basis of the return journey into consciousness. Theosophists say that animals have only group souls. You might have heard that. They believe that there is only one soul for the poultry in a farm. A flock of sheep, according to them, has only one singular soul. So they don't describe the reason behind such a belief. I don't know whether they know it. This is because of the lack of variance in animal kingdom. The animals and birds in these farms are almost similar with less variance. But this is not the case with pets. Pets we personally breed are different. Due to the association with human minds, they also develop variance and develop individuality. For example, if both myself and Dr. Sabu are rearing dogs of the same breed, German Shepherds, for example, they behave differently. They develop individuality, name, body language, manners, etc., everything in a different way. The same breed of dog, reared by me and Dr. Sabu, may behave differently because of the human connection. They have developed differentiation. So positivity needs negative polarity to descend. That is available in differentiated fields. And Sivagiri Tirthadanam creates such a field. Full of variety among the crowd from different walks of life. That's why Guru insists on primarily on 4 topics, then I think it was made into 8. So 8 type of variety, 8 type of occupations, they are joined together, gathering together for an assembly. It's an august assembly. So far as the positive descent of positivity is concerned, the positive charge from consciousness can easily descend to this field. That is why Guru introduced the discussion and debate on different topics concerning life. Thus, the infrastructure is set differentiated. And the software is also differentiated. I mean the lectures and discussions by software. The people assembled here are differentiated, and the topics of deliberation are also different. You must see that philosophy as an unseen thread which holds and connects the beats of differentiated deliberation. This, I believe, was the motive of Guru. I think I had mentioned to Dr. Sabu when he suggested this topic, it was Rishabhanatha, who is also called the Adinatha, the first Tirthankara of Jains. He has made similar arrangements in the societies. That was in another Manvantara, it seems. Rishabhanatha is also depicted in Bhagavata Purana also as Rishabhadeva. But he is a first Jain Tirthankara. He has lived in a time period which is not similar to our present time in which we are living and experiencing. It is said that he was engaged in big penance for some time and stopped his penance on the day of Akshaya Tritiya in the month of Vaishakha. On that day, Akshaya Tritiya, Rishabhanatha has stopped his penance by drinking sugarcane juice given by a woman. He was a king. So when king stops penance, it's a celebration. So from that day onwards, charity has gained importance because that woman gave charity of sugarcane juice to our king Rishabhanatha. This is the importance of Akshaya Tritiya, or giving charity. Thus the day was started to be considered as auspicious for getting something as offering, not as gift, as offering. What he has done that day, till then, in nature everything was available in surplus format. Plenty of food, plenty of milk from cows, plenty of paddy, plenty of crops, everything was in plenty. But most of them were subject to destruction during the time of penance of Rishabhanatha. He formed, after the penance, he formed different groups of people. He taught them different types of trades. Cultivation for some people, handicrafts for some others, manufacturing of weapons for some, and few other things for other people. Thus, different varieties of jobs were made. Even letters were started then. People were asked to make letters. He decided to bring them back to prosperity by making these different varieties of job. This is what Janaga's hands mean. And this is what Sri Guru also wanted to make flourish in Kerala, or in our mankind. He just aimed at the completion of human life after each of these pilgrimages. Thus, human beings should lead a life not in the forest but in the society. My Guru again says, heads in the forest and hands in the society. This is what aimed at Sivagiri Tirtharan. You can have lofty ideas and be practical in life. This is the message of Sivagiri Tirtharan, it seems. There is a richness of forest for our heads to go. Aranyakas, you might have heard, It's connected with the forest. But do not take the hands to the forest. Leave the hands in the society. That is what meant by the hands of Janaka. Now I have pointed out this since you have asked, since there was an interrogation from one of my friends. I think it is understood now. There is no need for separate mention of Shankara and Buddha, but the character of Janaka is influencing people in a great way or greater way than what we see in the case of others. And now I should say that Emperor Ashoka was not following this ideal. He was a Buddhist. Anyway, he liked Buddha teachings, Dharma patronage and all those things. But he could not manage his kingdom, manage his empire. And there is already a criticism that India was fragmented into many small principalities, small kingdom, because Ashoka was a failure. And this is the reason for that. And we were taught how to live ourselves to safe and secure in our own kingdom. That is our life. We are the monarch in our life. So Sridhara Guru taught us how can we look after ourselves properly so that we can finish this journey. And there are a lot of sangramas, wars and battles in between. And naturally, social life will have that. When you go through all these tribulations, trials and tribulations, you can win at last and come as an enlightened being, end as an enlightened being. This is what I believe Sridhara Guru wanted to impart our people through Sivagiri Tirtha. And we are now concentrating more on the flamboyance and the creative aspects of the event than the philosophical content. But I believe that a time will come when people will understand more about that, because once Guru think about something, it will not become a failure. There will be a period when we will understand, mankind will understand the importance of the pilgrimage, and pilgrimage with a difference. That's what I have got to say tonight, it seems. I think Dr. Sabu is satisfied